go. Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing another edition of What I Am Thinking. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel, know nothing about this video series, it is exactly how it sounds. I will be talking to you guys about what I am thinking. And what am I thinking today? How would I relaunch or reboot the Marvel Universe? Now, first things first, you must exclude the change of atmosphere and environment. The reason why I'm in this room is because, well, my house front walkway is getting torn out. So it's really noisy over where my room is, which is right at the front of our house. Now I'm at the back of the house. So you must excuse the change in environment. But a few months ago, maybe not even a few months ago, but in one of my previous What I Am Thinking videos, I talked about whether or not Marvel should relaunch like DC did 8 months ago. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that they shouldn't. Marvel should not relaunch. They're perfectly fine where they are. They don't need to. Plus, it would look a little weird if DC relaunched and then Marvel relaunched, and it would look like they're just one-upping each other. And it's probably bad for business if they did that. However, what if they did relaunch? What if they did reboot? Especially with these rumors going around, and again, I mean, I don't know how much validity is to these rumors, that Phoenix or Hope are going to come back in the X-Men versus the Avengers, and it's going to cause a big continuity reboot, or Scarlet Witch is going to take a poop, and boom! The universe just got rebooted. There's rumors going around that there could be a chance. I don't think so. I think Marvel's going to stay the way they are. But again, the question is what if they do reboot? What would happen? How would it be handled? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how I would do it. But you're probably saying right now, Andrew, you don't read Marvel. You're by all reasons a noob. And to be fair, you're right. I don't read Marvel. I don't know the universe as well as other people do. The most exposure I've had to Marvel is for the cartoon shows, the movies, video games, and sometimes looking over the fence to see what's on the other side. To be honest, I really haven't read anything from Marvel, so my knowledge is, well, limited. I like to think that I have more knowledge than the common folk does, but for the most part, my knowledge is limited. And a lot of people probably will be either offended or upset by the choices or decisions that I make. Particularly my friend at work, who is like the Marvel equivalent of me, was really mad with a lot of the comics that I'm not going to be bringing into the relaunch. Well, he did like some of the ideas I had. He didn't like some of the approaches that I was going on. So, I mean, chances are I'm going to really miss the ball. I could sink Marvel right now with my relaunch, but I like to think that some of the ideas I do have could work out. So, what are those ideas and exactly how am I going to handle them? Well, you're just going to have to hold on 1 second and I will tell you. Okay, so there's several different approaches and several different rules I'm going to go by when dealing with this relaunch slash reboot of Marvel. This fictional one I'm cooking up in my head. First and foremost is that this is no soft reboot. If I'm going to reboot, I'm going to reboot hard because when Andrew does something, he does it hard. So yes, there is no soft reboot. I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start everything over. That's a pretty daring move to do, but hey, what the hell? Let's do it. It's the only way to truly reboot and try things new is to start over at the beginning where there's nothing in the way. No continuity, no characters, nothing. I can mold it into the shape that I want to. That came off very creepy. But that's rule number one. Rule number two, the Marvel Universe is not going to be littered with X-Men books or X titles. This is one of the things that pissed off my friend. I plan at most having two X-Men titles. That's it. In reality, I would only want one because you only need one, but no X Factor, no X Force, no Uncanny X Dudes, no Uncanny X Dudettes. Uh, there's only going to be one X book. And then eventually two, and I will explain how that works. And I don't want to do two, but for the problem is there's just so much to the X-Men universe. that you kind of need to have two. It's a necessity, but not a necessity that I like. Uh, Three is when it comes down to the teams, with the exception of the Fantastic Four, I'm going by the rule of seven, that each team needs to have seven members on it. Why am I doing this? Well, it's because I like the rule of seven when it comes down to teams. It works well for the Justice League, and it could work well for other teams. Now, you got to understand that Marvel is completely different from DC Comics when it comes down to stuff like this, doing a team and stuff. But you gotta also understand is that I'm coming from a DC mindset. So if you see a lot of DC ideas transition over, sorry, it's bound to happen. So in saying that, let's start things off. And we might as well start things off with an X, the X-Men. Um, I have a 2-year plan for the X-Men. Let me just pull up my documento. I have a 2-year plan for the X-Men. I actually thought this out. Now, not all my titles I have a plan for. I have more of an idea on what I want to do with them. But for the X-Men, this is how it would go about. The X-Men is just starting up. Uh, for the most part, with the exception of Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine, they're all pretty much younger. Not too young, not teenagers, but early 20s. So it starts up, some problem arises, Magneto goes and runs amok, and Xavier needs to stop Magneto. And the only way he can do this is by getting a team together. So he gets his best students, his smartest students, his most skilled students together, and he cons Wolverine to helping him out because Wolverine needs help with his memories, blah blah blah. And we have the first X team. And the first X team will consist of such: Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine. That would be my first X-Men team. Not very traditional because the first X-Men team I think was Cyclops, Marvel Girl, which is Jean Grey, Archangel, Iceman, and Beast, I believe. But I'm going in a completely different direction. Why am I doing these? When I think of X-Men, these are the most iconic characters that I think of. They're the ones that stand out the most. They're the ones I think are, well, the X-Men. So that would be my X-Men team. And for the first year, the first 12 issues, each issue would be an individual villain of the week, story of the week kind of issue. First week we may deal with Magneto. Next week we may deal with the Sentinels rising. Then next month we may deal with Mr. Sinister, and then so on and so forth. So for 12 issues, it's going to be one-shot issues, reintroducing many of the factors in the Marvel universe for the X-Men, but at the same time also reintroducing a lot of the villains. And it's again monster of the week because at the 12th issue, going on to the 13th one, we're going to, again, I'm pushing things real quickly, but the Dark Phoenix saga. Jean Grey gets all loopy, goes crazy, and becomes Dark Phoenix. Blah blah blah. The whole Dark Phoenix story. Now, the Dark Phoenix story is going to be the cataclysm that will cause the two separate teams. I will have I forget what the club is called. The one Emma Frost from being in. It's going to be very similar to the original Dark Phoenix story, but there's going to be a few changes. For example, in the Dark Phoenix story that I'm doing, Professor Xavier dies. Oh, and by the way, in my Marvel universe, if you die, you stay dead. So Professor X will die. I like Professor X, but I think the X Men are better without him. A lot of people will be like, oh, "You're killing off Professor X?" Yeah, I'm killing him off, and he's staying dead. I may hint that he may return from time to time to raise people's hopes, but no, Professor X, he's dead, and he's staying dead. So yes, Professor X dies, and Jean Grey is also taken care of. Whether or not she's killed, I never will reveal. But it comes down to a big cataclysm, a schism of sorts, between the X-Men group because on one hand, Wolverine and certain X-Men believe that Jean Grey needs to be taken out, where Cyclops believes is very emotionally attached and believes that she shouldn't be taken out. And it causes a big tear between the X-Men. So the X-Men break up into two teams. Phoenix disappears again. Whether or not she dies, I don't reveal. Chances are she's just gonna come back to life because she's Phoenix. And I know I just said a no resurrection rule, but I think Phoenix is unfortunately the exception to the rule. So the team would break up, and they would break up into two teams, so two comics. And there would be completely different tones to these comics. Now, I believe I'm using a term that was used in the 90s for the X Men, but the two teams would be X Men Blue and X Men Yellow, which, again, I think were terms we used during the 90s. If not, please forgive me. X-Men Blue would consist of Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Storm, Colossus, as the X-Men team members that remain on the team. Joining the team would be Emma Frost, who found the folly of her ways and joins the X-Men, Psylocke, and Beast. So they would jump on, that would be X-Men Blue. And X-Men Blue conceptually would be more like a Avengers title. It would be the X-Men going off and doing superhero stuff, fighting off against super villains. It would be very much a very militaristic in style. They have meetings, they sit down, they talk, they do what needs to be done. They are a task force. Then there is X-Men Yellow, which will consist of Wolverine and Kitty Pryde from the original group, and then we have Iceman, Rogue, Gambit, Archangel, and Banshee. Uh, this is going to be the younger group. It's going to be set at the Xavier School. It's going to be very similar to what they're doing right now with the X-Men, with Wolverine kind of being the teacher. But that's what's going to be happening. They're going to be a younger group, not too young, but still a younger group, and they're going to be dealing with more of the kind of the core original X-Men problems that the X-Men had to deal with discrimination and such. So those would be my two X-Men team. And throughout the 12 issue span leading up to Dark Phoenix, I will introduce the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, blah, 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 whatever they call themselves these days. And Rogue will be part of them. And eventually Rogue will jump over to the X-Men yellow team. So that is my X-Men team. Now, for whatever X Factor, X Force, blah 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 could show up in a couple years. But with the X Men, I think you should focus on just those titles, and you get best of both worlds from that. So we now move on to the Avengers. So the Avengers would be the third title I would do. And the Avengers, again, following the rule of seven, I'm also going to go through a very DC like rule, having the big names in the Marvel Universe on the Avenger titles, with the exception of Spider Man and the Hulk. Reasons being is because I think Spider Man is better not on a team, and Hulk is, well, the Hulk. He's a weapon. He's a big Hulk smash, not really a team player. Leading the team would be Captain America. Then we have Iron Man, Thor, Namor, Black Widow, Ms. Marvel, and the Wolverine. Again, I don't like having Wolverine on every single team, but the reason why I'm having Wolverine on this team is just because he's a popular enough character. And chances are he's going to be thrown all over the place. You'll be surprised on how little I use Wolverine. I think I used Wolverine one more time. I could be wrong. So that's the Avengers book, and what I would do with the Marvel Universe is while I'll have like Osborn and Doctor Doom and Magneto heavily entrenched, well, not heavily entrenched, but based off their individual titles. Osborn with Spider Man, Magneto with X Men, Doctor Doom with Fantastic Four. They will become more villains of the Marvel Universe than villains of those particular characters. So that means the Avengers will be dealing with them, and the Avengers title will be exactly what you think it is. And there will only be one Avengers title. No Dark Avengers, no Young Avengers, no Avengers Academy, no Avengers, I don't know, Fraternity, no Avengers Play Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and PS3 on the weekends. Just Avengers. Plain, flat, simple. And that would be my Avenger team. Okay. Next is the rest of the comics. Spider-Man is a must, and although I don't like Spider-Man, the basic tone for Spider-Man, I would go back to the original tone, the original style, and I would have Mary Jane be more of a prolific character than she's been lately. And I would do it similar to X-Men, where the first 12 issues would be a villain of the week introducing a different villain. Maybe we have Doc Ock one week, then the Lizard the next week, the Green Goblin the next. I meant month. Month villain of the month. And then at 12th issue, we would do the Black Symbiote costume. Now, I wouldn't do Secret War for this. I would just do the Black Symbiote costume, somehow integrate it. Daredevil, I would have Daredevil be a very dark, gritty, vigilante-like book. Captain America's book would be 100% only in the 40s. His adventures in today's time would be in the X-Men, not the X-Men, in the Avengers. His stories now are done in the 40s. Plain, flat, and simple. For Captain America does not leave the 40s. Allows you to build the character there, while at the same time the character gets built on the Avengers. Thor, Thor would be a magical book, blah blah blah, kind of like Wonder Woman. Ghost Rider, which would I would have be take a page from DC and kind of make it like Swamp Thing or Animal Man as a horror book of some sort. I don't know how I would go about that, but I would. Ms. Marvel would get a comic because Ms. Marvel is a strong female character, and I think she deserves it. No Captain Marvel, she's just Ms. Marvel. Hawkeye would have a book. Doctor Strange would have a book. We would obviously have the Fantastic Four. And then I would also have a cosmic book with Silver Surfer. And lastly, eventually, not right away, but eventually Wolverine would get his own title. I don't know. I'm still iffy on that because Wolverine has a good title, but he doesn't have really good supporting characters. Decent villains, but not good supporting characters. And Wolverine's title would start off back in the day. Him young, and the first 12 issues will be going through his life up until the current point, going up against someone, something, and it's just going to be that long journey. So that's basically my Marvel Universe and how I would relaunch the Marvel Universe or reboot the Marvel Universe. I know it's not perfect. It's not what everyone would like. It's not what everyone would agree on. And I know a lot of people are hating me right now. Where's Deadpool? Where's X Force? Where's X Factor? Where's Cloak and Dagger? Where's the Dark Avengers or the Red Hulk? They're not here. Oh, the Hulk would also have a comic too. I forgot to mention. He's also on there too. I would have Hulk have a comic, and it would be a Hulk comic. But yes, that is how I would relaunch Marvel. Not perfect. I'm sure I'm driving Marvel into the ground. But hey, what do you think? How would you relaunch Marvel? How would you reboot it? I would like to see a video response or maybe a message or a comment and give me your thoughts because I'm always curious to see what you guys think. That's why I do the What I Am Thinking videos because it gives me a chance to talk to you guys and we bounce off ideas. Sounds pretty cool. So, yeah, let me know what you're thinking. And I will have another What I Am Thinking video sometime this coming week. Um, so, yeah, I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.